Hi guys, my name is Clarice and today we're going to be talking about Hierapolis Ancient City. So here is the list of the topics that I'm going to be talking about today. The introduction, location and general information, history of Hierapolis, the founding and Hellenistic period, the Roman period, important structures, Christianity and Byzantine era, archaeological excavations, and Hierapolis today. So firstly, let's talk about the location and general information. Pamukkale is located in Denizli province of southwestern Anatolia, and it's one of the most extraordinary natural and cultural landscapes in the world. The name Pamukkale, which literally means cotton castle in Turkish, refers to the white, cotton-like travertine terraces were formed by the accumulation of calcium carbonate deposits carried by the area's hot springs, which emerge from the earth at temperature of around 36 degrees. The city's location was not accidental. In fact, it was deliberately chosen for its access to the thermal springs, which were believed to have powerful healing and sacred properties. These hot waters were seen as a divine gift from the gods, and Hierapolis was regarded as a city of healing and holiness. Let me inform you about the history of Hierapolis. The origins of Hierapolis date back to the Hellenistic period around the late 2nd century BC. The city's name derives from the Greek word hieros, meaning sacred, suggesting that it was initially established as a religious center. Some ancient sources associate the name with Hera, the wife of Telephos, the mythical founder of Pergamon. Hierapolis first developed as a small settlement within the Pergamon kingdom, a powerful Hellenistic state known for its cultural refinement and devotion to the arts. When the last king of Pergamon died, he willed his kingdom to Rome. Thus, Hierapolis became part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. Under the Roman rule, Hierapolis grew rapidly. Its location along important trade routes allowed it to flourish economically, while its hot springs made it a major health and religious destination. The city suffered several devastating earthquakes, but each time it was rebuilt, often on the same plan. These cycles of destruction and rebirth gave Hierapolis its layered architectural identity, where Greek, Roman, and Byzantine elements blend seamlessly. The founding and Hellenistic period. Hierapolis reflected the typical characteristic of Greek urban planning during its Hellenistic foundation. The city was organized on a grid plan with streets intersecting at right angles and public building places symmetrically along these axes. But the main features included a temple complex, a gymnasium, an agora, and residential quarters. The early population consisted primarily of Greeks and local Anatolians. Religion played a central role in the city's life, with the worship of Apollo, the god of light, prophecy and healing being particularly significant. Temples dedicated to Apollo, Artemis, and Dionysus mainly. The Hellenistic architectural influence remained strong, even after Roman reconstruction. Columns with Ionic and Corinthian capitals and artistic reliefs decorated the public spaces, showing a blend of Greek elegance and emerging Roman grandeur. The Roman period. The Roman period marked the golden age of Hierapolis. After the earthquake of 60 AD, Emperor Nero ordered the complete reconstruction of the city in the Roman style. The result was a magnificent urban center filled with marble structures, monumental gates, wide colonnaded streets, and luxurious bath complexes. The ancient city became a spa city of the Roman world, a place of health, leisure, and religion. People from across the empire traveled to Hierapolis for treatment in the therapeutic pools. Physicians and priests often worked together, as healing was considered both a medical and divine process. Important structures. The theatre. The theatre is one of the most impressive monuments of Hierapolis. Built into a slope of the hill, it could seat around 12,000 spectators. The construction began during the reign of Emperor Hadrian. The theatre's architectural design follows the Roman model, with the semicircular cavea, meaning the seating area, an orchestra, and richly decorated scenariums, meaning stage buildings. And as you can see in the picture, the stage's marble reliefs depict scenes of Dionysian rituals, mythological creatures, and imperial ceremonies. It was not only used for plays and concerts, but also for civic gatherings and imperial festivals. And these excellent preservations today offers a vivid glimpse into the grandeur of Roman entertainment culture. The necropolis, meaning the city of the dead, extends more than 2 kilometers along the northern and southern approach to Hierapolis. It is one of the largest and best preserved ancient cemeteries in Asia Minor. More than 1,200 tombs have been identified. The variation in tomb design reflects the social status and wealth of deceased. The necropolis also reveals the cultural fusion of the region, combining Greek artistic motifs with Roman architectural forms. The presence of Christian burials in later centuries demonstrates the city's long-term continuity and religious transformation. Baths and basilica. The Roman baths were central to daily life in Hierapolis. They were not merely places for hygiene, but also for social interaction, philosophical discussion, and physical exercise. The bath complex contained multiple rooms. The baths were supplied with hot water directly from the nearby thermal springs, creating a unique experience that combined luxury and health. In the Byzantine period, parts of the baths were converted into Christian basilica, symbolizing the transition of the city from pagan to Christian beliefs. The basilica served as both a place of worship and a center for community gatherings. The Temple of Apollo was the spiritual heart of Hierapolis, dedicated to Apollo, the city's protective deity. It was built directly above an active fault line. Ancient inhabitants believed this geological feature connected the temple to the underworld and gave it divine energy. The temple's foundation dates to the Hellenistic era, but it was reconstructed in the 1st century AD in the Roman Corinthian order. The structure included a raised platform and columned portico and altar for sacrifices. The temple's proximity to the Plutonium emphasizes the city's deep spiritual symbolism, a place where life, death, and healing converged. Plutonium, meaning the gate to the underworld. The Plutonium was one of the most mysterious and sacred cities of Hierapolis. It was a small cave that emitted lethal gases, mainly carbon dioxide, from the Earth's interior. Animals brought near the cave died instantly, and yet priests known as Galli could enter unharmed, demonstrating their divine favor. Ancient writers, such as Strabo, described the Plutonium as the gate to Hades. It was considered an entrance to the underworld ruled by Pluto, meaning Hades. Ritual sacrifices and purification ceremonies were performed here, reinforcing Hierapolis' status as both a place of death and healing. Nymphium. The Nymphium, a monumental fountain dedicated to the nymphs and water deities, served both a decorative and functional purpose. Water was a symbol of life and prosperity. The Nymphium that rises on a marble podium was built on the crossroads between the columned streets and the Hierapolis street by shaving the exterior of the travertine columns located on the crossroads. The Fontaine Street was the main artery of Hierapolis, stretching over 1 kilometer. It was flanked by the colonnades, shops, and houses. At the western end stood the Frontinus Gate, a 3-arched triumphal gate built in the late 1st century AD, which marked the entrance to the city. The Byzantine Gate, built later, symbolized the city's fortification and religious transformation. The southern gate in the city walls of Hierapolis dates back to the reign of Emperor Theodosius the Great, the end of the 4th century, similarly to the northern gate. It was built of travertine blocks and stones obtained from the Agora. The gate has been restored, and it's at the starting point of the sightseeing tour of Hierapolis for the tourists arriving at the eastern entrance. Thermal pools. The natural thermal pools of Pamukkale are among the most spectacular geological features on Earth. Warm waters rich in calcium carbonate flow down the slopes and solidify into dazzling white travertine terraces. Church and Grave of St. Philip. The three-nave church was unearthed during the archaeological works in 2011, so it is a relatively new point on the Hierapolis sightseeing route. The building was erected around the tomb, which is traditionally attributed to St. Philip pilgrims. On the right side of the tomb, in the central nave of the church, there are two small water tanks, one used for ritual immersion and two larger pools lined with the marble slabs. It is believed that healing rituals were carried out there. Christianity and the Byzantine era. By the 4th century AD, Hierapolis had become a major center of Christianity. According to the tradition, Saint Philip, one of the apostles of Jesus, was martyred in Hierapolis for spreading the Christian faith. During the Byzantine period, the Hierapolis became the seat of bishop and key pilgrimage destination. Pagan temples were either destroyed or converted into churches. The city's role transformed from a healing sanctuary of Apollo to a sacred Christian landscape dedicated to faith and redemption. Archaeological excavations and findings. Firstly, Hierapolis was first excavated by the German archaeologist Karl Humann during the June and July 1887. Archaeological research in Hierapolis began in the late 19th century by German and Italian teams. Excavations have revealed temples, baths, theatres, houses, and mosaics that provide insights into the city's social life and religion. Artifacts such as sculptures, coins, ceramics, and glassware are displayed in the Hierapolis Archaeology Museum, located in the former Roman bath complex. Hierapolis today. In 1988, Pamukkale and Hierapolis were jointly inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List for their unique combination of natural cultural heritage. The site now attracts over 2 million visitors annually. Strict preservation measures are in place to protect the delicate travertine terraces. Tourists are only allowed to walk barefoot in designated areas to prevent erosion. Hierapolis today is not merely an archaeological site, it is a living testimony to the dialogue between nature and civilization, a place where ancient spiritually meets modern admiration. From its Hellenistic foundation through Roman glory to Byzantine devotion, Hierapolis stands as a symbol of continuity and transformation. Today, Pamukkale Hierapolis remains a place of renewal, a bridge between the ancient and the eternal, between the natural and the divine. And that was all for today. Thank you for listening.